There is no such thing as self-sabotage. I'm going to tell you what's really going on. And by the end of the video, you should have a much better understanding of what's going on inside of you and have some ideas of what you can do to stop sabotaging yourself.
Ah. Oh. Oh.
So I think we all know what self-sabotage means. It means that you're trying to do something and then there's a part of you that comes in and fucks it all up. And that works with jobs, with relationships, with, you name it, money, trying something new, sports, hobbies. All of us have some area in our life where we're trying to do something new or better in. And then there's this little piece of us that comes in and throws a wrench into the whole thing as if to say, what's tempting for people like us in that situation is to think some part of me just doesn't want me to be happy. And then you start getting really down on yourself. And then you start getting really angry at a part of yourself. Like, why do I do this to myself? As if there was some piece of you inside with a big curly mustache and a monocle and it's all, want to be happy, do you? There's nothing like that going on. And I hope that's good news. So let's talk about what self-sabotage really is. The first part of this, I want to help you understand that pretty much all human beings have, if there was a hierarchy of needs, I'm not talking about Maslow. I just mean that as a human being, our brain and our nervous system, the one thing that it wants for us more than anything is to be safe and to not get hurt. And then, of course, to avoid things that could hurt us and avoid things that might damage us or maybe kill us. And all of us have different ideas. Our nervous system all has different ideas of what that could mean. So what this means for the self-sabotage is there is a piece of you that perceives that the action you want to take may not be safe. The good news to this is it's not trying to hurt you. It's actually trying to help you. So here's one good example, and I may come back to this a couple times for the other bits of this. Let's just go. Every man wants love. They want to have that special someone. And let's just go with, I really want love and I'm going to do something new to find that special someone. And then you do. And then there is that time period that we all have, whether it may be a few days, a few weeks, a few months, where everything goes smashingly and then smash. It's all just goes to heck and you're not sure why. So let's talk about why that is. As a hypothetical, if you want love and you're like, say you're 38 years old and you find someone and you're really excited about them. Let's say that when you were a young boy, 6, 7, 8 years old, and that little kid got hurt by putting his heart out there, maybe by an adult, maybe by a teacher, maybe by another little girl or a little boy or some relationship, something inside that little boy said, life is so uncertain and scary, and love is really uncertain. So we need to stop with all of this relationship stuff. So what you're interpreting as sabotaging your relationship is actually just a little like 7-year-old version of you saying, let's not get hurt anymore. So let's go back to the thing that we're familiar with, which is being lonely, maybe being grumpy, looking at Pornhub. All of that may be a terrible substitute, but at least it's safe. Does that make sense? You're not trying to hurt yourself. You're trying to save yourself. I know that sounds really messed up, but that's really what's going on. You are trying to keep yourself safe by keeping yourself from doing that thing you want to do. Second part, you are a collection of multiple motivations and feelings and experiences. So from the time you're born to whatever age you're watching this video, you've had many development stages, lots of experiences, lots of joy, lots of heartache, lots of pain, lots of fulfillment, whatever the case is. Let's just say you've always been in a family where money was tight, and throughout most of your development, you were in a situation where There may not have always been enough, or everyone had to cut back. Everyone was frugal, and you didn't really have a great relationship with money. At no point in that process did you ever have an amazing relationship with money, understand how it works, how to manage it, where to put it so you get the magic of compound interest working in your benefit. You didn't have mentors, you didn't have a savings plan, you didn't do any of that. You just had struggle. So now you find yourself, maybe you're 40, and you're thinking, I really want to be successful at this new business. And maybe something about it is really excited. And this goes again to the first example of you're not trying to hurt yourself, but I really want to reinforce this whole point of you have multiple parts of you all operating for the same sort of outcome, being safe, not getting hurt. So you want to move into this space where you're being successful. I wanted to start a business with some people, and none of us were ever wealthy or really in a great financial place in any of our upbringing. So when we would meet new clients, when we would do paperwork, when we would make a business plan, all of that stuff was brand new to us. All of it was very unfamiliar. And then, of course, when you're unfamiliar with what the future could look like, then your past says, well, there's a good chance you're going to get hurt. So let's stop doing that. So the part of me that grew up in scarcity is being asked to show up and help me somehow move into success and abundance. And it's like, I have no idea what that means. You know what would be safer? Go find a job and just do something that's comfortable. Like it's not challenging, maybe challenging enough, but let's just stop doing that. And what I thought I was doing was sabotaging my future. Me and my two future partners were trying to figure out how do we get this business off the ground, but nothing was happening. We had an inner conflict. And that part of us that was sabotaging, again, is just trying to help us. There's another component to this. The third part of this is there is a piece of you that's probably been rejected or pushed aside at some point in your development in childhood. Let's say you want to be a stand-up comedian. You're 29 years old and you've been really enjoying comedy. You're like, I think I can do this. You've got a sense of humor. You know how to make people laugh. Well, let's just say that when you were a child, say you had a really strong mother who's like, why are you making fun of people? That's not nice. It's impolite. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. So you're wanting to be a stand-up comic, which often requires roasting people and, busting on them a little bit. But you've got this other part of you you've rejected your whole life. It's still there. It's just standing off to the distance yelling, if you don't have anything nice to say to people, don't say anything. And you find yourself going through this process of like, I want to be a comedian, but nothing works. Or I should take that class, but you never do it. And you're like, why am I sabotaging something that I want to do? There's a piece of you that's been rejected that's standing off to the side. So as a little kid, we interpret that like, if you don't have anything nice to say, we interpret that I can't talk like that. That's going to be rejected. No little kid wants to be hurt. This trait doesn't make me feel good. Makes me get in trouble. I'm going to reject that part of me. All this is unconscious. You tracking with me so far? Some of this also plays into self-love and self-hate. Because where I'm leading with all of this is that you have to find a way to integrate all of these parts of you. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But this is another piece that I want to add in just to help you understand how complex and also how simple this whole concept is. Let's talk about what love is. Love is the absence of separation. It's openness, it's vulnerability, it's connection. It's that wonderful feeling that is hard to put a finger on and every musician writes a song about, but still never gets to the bottom of what it is. Yet all of us want it and need it. And biologically, we require it to be able to survive. And so self-love, and it's another one of those mystery terms. Like, what is that supposed to mean? Like yourself more? Yeah, let's just go with the simple part of it. You're trying to like yourself more. You're trying to do things that make you happy. You're trying to be more about what makes your life work for you. Understand your boundaries, understand your yes and no. And self-love can easily become another conundrum that's just as difficult as self-sabotage. And the reason is you are the source of love in your own life. If you want to do self-love, you also then have to fracture a part of yourself. see if you can follow with me on this concept. Some part of you has to be the authority, and some part of you has to be the recipient. The authority has to decide that the recipient is now worthy of love. That's going to make things complicated. What I suggest you should do is look into finding a whole state of being where you feel connected, where you're doing things for yourself that feel right. Just be in a state that moves itself towards more and more love, more appreciation, more respect, lots of gratitude. So, what about self hate? Do you think if I hate myself enough, then maybe I won't sabotage things? Let me just make it simple. Self hate is me and you beating ourselves up internally before something externally can do the job. So we're just trying to preemptively bring in the abuse before whoever we think is coming around the corner to throw a big wet blanket on our hopes and dreams, and we do it to ourselves. So this is all kind of connected. The self-sabotage is a part of you trying to help yourself. Self-love is a way to just be in a state where you're not fractured, but you're more and more whole. And self-hate, of course, is just trying to beat yourself up before someone else can. And that's another pattern and a belief that can be, very damaging. So to wrap up, here's a suggestion on what we can do about it. And this is what I've been doing. This is what happens in the men's work I've been doing for the better part of a decade. It takes time. You can always find an expert, and I'll get to some of that at the end here. But what I invite you to do is the next time you have a big plan, like pick something that this has been a pattern before. The next time you feel that resistance and that sabotage, just if it's possible, get by yourself and just be. The goal is to talk to that piece of yourself and let it speak to you. If, like you want love, but the little child in you really, really wants certainty. And since love is so uncertain, that part of you comes in and says, let's not do that because it's trying to help you. The goal is have a conversation with that version, that piece of you, that part of you, that aspect of you that's been hurt, that's worried, and that has something that it needs to say. Over time, that part of you will speak and say, this is what I'm worried about. There's a great example. I want to be wealthy, but I can't ever get there. And then you find that there's a part of you inside that's like, I don't want to be selfish and greedy. As long as I know that we can be generous and thoughtful, I won't get in the way of us being successful and have abundance. The goal is to find a way to integrate all of these parts and all of these messages and voices and all of these different mixed motivations to bring them together because it's just you. There's no boundary between your head and your body. All of you is all of you, and all of you has a say in what you do. And even though your conscious mind may be the loudest, you have lots of parts of you that have lots of different feelings about experiences that it's had. If you're interested in exploring this part of you and bringing some healing to all these parts, Andrea and I would be happy to work with you. If you would like some coaching on this, we can help get you onto the next level and perhaps bring some wisdom and clarity to you. Reach out to us. Our web links all in the description and the channel and everything else. And furthermore, we have so many resources that we've put together that are genuinely as good as we can make them. And we want to give them to you. In the description below, you'll see the little arrows, get it here, just sign up and you can have it for free. Things that you can use today. We would love to work with you and we would love to hear from you. Put some comments below, subscribe, engage with us, and let us get to have some back and forth. I'd love to hear your version or your interpretation, your feedback from this video. And we will see you in the next one.
Ah! Oh! Oh!